Hi guys, welcome back. In this video, we will explore some of the quiz management features and what can you do in order to control your classroom or if there is a crisis situation. So let's go ahead and get started. This is the quiz I recently created. This quiz does not have the active symbol over here. This is the quiz that I created sometime back. It has an active icon in front of it. Let's go ahead and make this quiz and edit some of its properties. So this quiz is not started yet. It's supposed to open tomorrow. What I want to do is I want to edit some of the quiz properties so that I can prepone the quiz timing. So if you want to prepone the quiz timing, extend the deadline and things like that, you can do it from here. You can also change section instructions and so on. So let's go ahead and click on edit quiz and explore what is available. So over here, I've got 4 tabs: metadata, content, time, and advanced. I can change the tags. I can change the quiz title. I can change the description, which is just visible to me, not to the students. And I can also change the quiz instructions. Some of these properties we can change before the quiz starts, and once the quiz starts, some of these properties are blocked. Let's go to the content. Here again, we can change the section instructions, section title, and the help selector level, grading metrics. These things we can change before the quiz starts. Once the quiz starts, I will not be able to change the help selector, and I will not be able to change the grading matrix. And these are settings available for each section. And what I'm really interested in is right now is in changing the quiz timing. So here's quiz timing, and I want to prepone it. I want to make it available to me right now. Of course, if I do that, I'll have to inform my class that I've changed the quiz timings, and I should send them an email to do that. So here is 30th July, and I want to make it available to me right now. So let me make it 3:30 p.m. Okay, let me not change the deadline. Deadline can stay the same. The duration also we can change before the quiz starts. Once the quiz starts, we'll not be able to change the duration. We'll not be able to change the open start time, but we'll be able to change the deadline. So we can extend the deadline after the quiz starts, but we'll not be able to change the duration and open set time. Remember that any of the settings you change here, you need to inform your class about these settings. In the advanced tab, we can change the duration interpretation from actual to absolute. Let's go ahead and make it absolute. This is again a setting which we cannot change once the quiz starts. And if I've not provided them a calculator, I can go ahead and change that. Or if I want to revoke the calculator, I can go ahead and set it to none. Let's go ahead and verify this. Once these changes are verified, you can go ahead and cross-check them, and then you can go ahead and say commit changes. At this point, when you make these changes, if there were any users who were logged in, they'll get logged out. It's important that they get logged out because you've made some setting changes, and they will be only able to see the setting changes when they log back in again. So that's why the system logs all of them out if anyone was logged in. So you have to be a little bit careful when you're using the edit quiz feature. You can change certain settings, and you cannot change certain settings after the quiz starts. And whenever you do any setting changes through edit quiz, your users who are logged in currently, all of them will get logged out and they'll have to log in again so that the change of the settings can take effect. We have got a manage quiz button over here. On the manage quiz page, we can see who are the takers of the class and what are they doing. So over here, there are 2 tabs, takers and advanced. In the takers tab, you can see all your class takers. These were the 7 takers we added, and 3 takers are added by the system automatically: sample 1, sample 2, and sample 3. Whenever the quiz is created, you get an email, and the email, these sample IDs and their passwords are also included. These extra IDs are provided to you just in case you forgot to add a student, or you need to take the test yourself, or you want to pass it to one of your teaching assistants so that they can take the test themselves. So you can use one of these sample IDs. They also help you in crisis management. Say one student comes to you and says that he forgot to sign up for the quiz, and please include him in the quiz. You can give him or her this one of these sample IDs. You can also change the password, and you can view the password from here for any of the students. So let's go ahead and take a look at the sample password of the sample one. This is a random password. If I want to edit it, I can go ahead and edit the password by clicking this once more. And now I can change this password to anything I want. I can change it to hello world. But this change will take effect when I click on the save and reset quiz button. Or I can click on this button over here and generate another random password. So every time I click this button over here, it generates a new random password. So if I want to provide, if a student has forgotten the password or his password has been leaked, you can create a new random password for the student and click on save and reset, and that'll take care of the password change. A hard reset feature is also available from here. If I select this option and click on reset quiz again, this will reset this particular student. I can do multiple password changes for multiple students. I can generate random passwords for all of them again, and I can go ahead and say save and reset. There's no way to upload CSV. If you need to really change all the passwords, you'll have to click on these buttons and generate random passwords. But if you do that, that'll change the passwords. So I don't want to really make those changes, and those changes will only take effect if I click this button, which I'm not going to do. So what I'll do is I'll refresh this and I'll confirm, and this page will reload again. And when this page reloads, all the old passwords will be there. Okay, let's go ahead and take a quiz ourselves to see what happens when we come to this manage quiz page. You can see a little icon over here. This icon says this is for tracking activity of the student. So I can click on this and it will show me the logs of activity of the student. Right now there are no logs because nothing has been done yet. So what I'll do is I'll copy this password. I will notice this ID. This is quiz ID AAUC. And I have received this in the email also, but since I am the creator of this quiz, I can see all these things. Let me go ahead and open new tab. In this tab, I'll type in examiner.in, and this will take me to the quiz page, the quiz app page, which says it over here. So this is the quiz app. I have to enter the quiz ID, which was AAUC, and I have to put in the username, in which in this case this is sample1, and the password I've copied, so I'll paste it over here. Just to confirm, I can check it by making it visible. I'll go ahead and log in. And when I log in, my quiz is ready to be taken. I can click on multiple choice question here, this section, read the instructions here. And if I want to start this section, I just have to say, I have read the instructions, I'll click on proceed. Over here, I can start taking my quiz. My timer has already started, so I can read the question and answer the questions. This is an MCQ question, so I simply have to select an answer, and that's how I answer. The moment I answer the quiz, this gets logged and this log button shows up over here. Locking means that this question is marked for submission. If I'm not sure the answer about this question, and in this question there's a negative marking, I may want to unlock this and flag it. Maybe I want to come back to this question later on and think about it again. So I have flag icon also shows up over here, so I can easily track it. So I'll go ahead and exit the section. Look at the other sections that are available to me. Okay, I want to go and see what's in this section. I'll click on proceed. Here's an important instruction here. Partial grading is on in this section. You may lock fill in the blank questions without filling all the blanks. And there's no negative marking. So let me check the grading matrix here. Let's go ahead and proceed. Here's a fill in the blank question, and I have to put in the answers here. So this was true, and this was false. And if I'm not sure, I can leave this blank because it says here partial grading is on in this question. You may lock without filling all the blanks. So when it says this message over here, I'm allowed to click the lock and lock this question. I want to submit this question, so at least I'll get partial marks. This is a 4 marks question. I'll get 4 by 3 for this, 4 by 3 for this if these two are correct, and nothing for this. Let me go ahead and look at some of these other questions. If I'm not sure about this question, but I have some idea, I may want to flag it and come back to it later. Flagging a question simply means I'm marking it up because I want to come back to it later. And here's another question. I want to answer this one, so I'll put in 2 over here and I'll lock it from here, or I'll lock it from here. Locking a fill in the blank question is important because if you don't lock it, it's not marked for submission, just like an MCQ question. Only difference is in an MCQ question, it gets automatically locked. And for fill in the blank question, this is not logged. So let me go ahead and exit the section. Let me go check out the last section. And since I am right now both the student and the teacher, let me go back and check what's happening on the author dashboard. So you see this message has already changed. This student has already started the quiz. If I click on the track activity button over here, it shows that this student is already logged in. It shows it is logged in from a certain IP address, certain operating system, and certain browser, and it shows the version number. So these detailed activity tracking can be done, and it also says at what time I entered section 1, what time I exited section 1, how much time I spent there, what time I entered section 2, what time I exited section 2. And it says logged out because switched to a different window. Remember that we have made that feature that if a student changes the window, they'll get logged out. So this is also been recorded. Let me go back here. I'll have to log in again. No problem. And I can just get started wherever I left. So whatever the questions I've answered, they're still over here. Nothing is lost. This is a question I answered. It's logged. The answer is there. The first question I answered, the answers are there, and the question is logged. Second question I did not answer, and third I did not answer. So nothing gets lost. The system is automatically saving all the responses put in by the students. If a student suddenly loses internet connection, at most what will happen is they will lose the information that student is provided in the last 1 minute. So let me go ahead and answer some questions in the last section. And I'll just randomly answer them. Probably they're all wrong. And that's it. I'll answer only these much. I'll go ahead and click on submit now. I'm done with this quiz. If I click on submit, it shows me the count of all the sections, how many questions are there, how many I've answered, how many I've skipped. It's important that we check this carefully before we submit. So I'll submit this. It says this quiz cannot be attempted again if I submit it. So if I'm very sure, I'll click on yes. And my submission is done. It says your quiz is submitted. Performance summary will be available shortly. So my quiz is getting graded. And just in a few moments, my performance summary will appear over here. So for a student, once he's done the submission and you have made the settings that performance summary will be available immediately after the quiz, it will automatically come up over here. And this is my performance. My total score is 8.67 out of 45. I've done very poorly. I've got negative marks here. I've got some marks over here and one positive score over here. So here's my summary available. I can also download a report from here. And if I click on view response, it'll say that I can check the review only after the deadline. The deadline is mentioned as this date and time over here. So once this deadline is over, I will be able to come back, log in, and review the response. But this is from the student side. As a student, I cannot log in into this quiz. But as a teacher, I can see what the student has done. So let's go back to the teacher side. Here's a teacher side. And let me click on this again over here. And it shows me that the student has submitted the quiz at this time, and then he logged out. Okay, if there's also a quiz log button, if I click on this also gives me live updates of all the students in the class. So if multiple students are logged in, this will keep updating, and you'll see which student is doing exactly what at what time. And if you click on this plus button, you'll be able to see where they are connected from, what operating system and what browser they're using. If this information changes frequently, they log in, log out multiple times, and this information is changing frequently, that might mean that they're passing on their user ID to somebody, and you may want to investigate that. Let me go ahead and refresh this page and see if there are any updates. And when we do that, I see that sample one user has already submitted this quiz. I can go and click on this button over here. And when I do that, I can see the student's performance. This is not the student login. Let me show this again. I did this from the instructor's side, teacher's side. I clicked on this button and it logged me in as a student, but with more permissions. So I can see the student score. I can see summaries in each of the sections. And if I want to look at a particular section, all I have to do is click on view response. When I do that, I'm inside the student's quiz and I can see what student has exactly done in this question. and he has flagged this question but did not answer. So I can understand that student must be thinking about this question and he did not answer. I can click on this question here again and look at how many people answered in my class. And I can see that only one person has taken the test so far, and he has answered incorrect, which is this student in this case. But some of the answers were correct here, so he has been given a partial score. Not only that, it also shows me how much time the student has taken and the class has taken. So let's go ahead and exit this section, and you can that way review all the sections if you want. And this you can do while the quiz is still going on. The deadline is not over and students are taking the test. So those who have submitted, you can review them. If they've not submitted, you will not be able to review them. So this page allows you to track a lot of activities of the student. Let's go to the advanced tab. On this tab, you've got security level features. If you want to change that during the quiz, you can change them. No one will get logged out when you change these settings. From here, you can change the score and review settings. It says when the scores become available to the students, when they can submit the score, when they can see their scores, and when they can review the quiz. You can also change the setting corresponding to logout and focus change, and whether you want to show the class statistics to the students or not. Finally, let's look at this more button. There are multiple menu options given over here. You can deactivate a quiz. Deactivating a quiz means everyone who is logged in will get logged out immediately. And you can go ahead and then change the settings. After you change the settings, you can tell your students to log back in again. And from the same button, you can activate this quiz. You can create a new quiz from template, and we have shown this in a different video. Please go and check that video. From here, you can download the performance summary of the class. It is best to use this feature once everyone is submitted. And this is where you'll be able to see their performances in an Excel file. From here, you can download their credentials, login ID, username, password, quiz ID as a CSV file. Login credentials in PDF allows you to download a PDF format of their credentials and passwords, which you can print and then distribute to them in the class. You can also download the quiz log analysis, and by looking at the quiz log analysis, you can see what were the activities students were doing as an Excel file. If you want to do further analysis with that, you can do that. That Excel file will contain all the details about their IP addresses, browser versions, and all the details that you'll need to track their activity. So that's it for this particular video. We learned about what you can do in order to understand what your students are doing and how to manage your crisis. Thank you for watching.